In this skill video, we're going to work on ways to find and access psychological scientific research at the primary source level. That is, how to find those journal articles that we talked about in previous skills. Now, there are actually lots of different types of scientific research publication, but for the purposes of this course and the purposes of this video, we're really only going to talk about two kinds in particular. Those two kinds are the empirical journal article or research article and a review article or a meta-analysis as a particular type of review article. So empirical journal articles are research articles that talk about the collection of new data in order to address a particular hypothesis. So they're the kinds of articles that tell you about a new study that's been conducted to test some particular question. These are the building blocks of psychological science and are the most common kinds of articles that we see. There are also review articles. These articles review lots of different empirical journal articles and tell you the state of the research on that subject. So, for example, if I was interested in humility, I could find several different empirical journal articles on the subject of humility, or I could find one relatively recent review article that describes the results of lots of different empirical journal articles and gives me a summary of the state of the research. As you can see, these review articles are often a very good place to start when you're trying to figure out what the state of the research is on some particular subject in psychological science. But if you want to understand the nitty-gritty details, you'll need to find the individual empirical journal articles. So what we're going to talk about today are how to find peer-reviewed research. How do you find these journal articles and get access to them? Thankfully, the University of Maine Library is your key to finding scientific research. What you'll want to do is to navigate to library.umaine.edu, the main page for the UMaine Library. There, you'll click on Databases. Through the Fogler Library, you have access to a variety of different research databases. In this class, we will be primarily using PsycINFO, which is an indexing service that looks at journal articles across hundreds of different journals in psychology. You can find PsycINFO by clicking on the P or by searching for it. Once I have my list of databases that start with P, I can find PsycINFO and click through. When you click to launch PsycINFO, it will ask you to log in to the UMaine Library server. Now you have to do this because, as you may know, most journal articles are hidden behind what are called paywalls. That is, you have to pay to access them. Because of your tuition to UMaine, we have access to all of these different journal articles in full text by paying for the PsycINFO service. So you have to log in using your UMS credentials. So on that page, which I can't show you because I'm already logged in, what you'll need to do is to make sure that you click on Login using the UMS system ID, provide your @maine.edu email address and password, and it'll log you right in here to PsycINFO. If you're having difficulty with that, contact the library directly via the library.umaine.edu webpage or contact IT. Once you're here in the PsycINFO database, you can then search for a variety of different information, whatever topic is your interest. So what I'm going to begin by searching for is American Indian mascots. Something that I'm particularly interested in. Now, immediately, PsycINFO is going to give me some results here. PsycINFO indexes not just journal articles, but a variety of other publications. But I want to make sure that the publications that I'm looking at are peer-reviewed, what we talked about in previous skills. So I'm going to click this box. This limits my results to peer-reviewed articles in academic journals, exactly what I'm looking for. So what I would do now is look through these results and see which one appears most interesting. I might look at the different journals that things come from. For example, this one comes from the Journal of Sport and Social Issues. In some of these other articles, they come, for example, from Cultural Diversity and Ethnic Minority Psychology. So I might look through these and find one that I think is the most interesting. This title looks neat. Of Warrior Chiefs and Indian Princesses, The Psychological Consequences of American Indian Mascots, by Stephanie Freiberg in Basic and Applied Social Psychology in 2008. I can click on this here and it will give me more details about the publication itself. However, you'll notice that under each of these, there's an icon. For some of them it says PDF full text, which will take you directly to the full text of the article. For some it says article linker, which will allow you to search through UMaine's library for the full text of that article and usually find it. Others have HTML full text or other versions. So what I'm going to do here is click on the PDF full text to get the full text of the article that I'm looking for. And with a few clicks, I have access to cutting-edge published research, peer-reviewed in basic and applied social psychology, on the effect of Native American mascots. If I want to understand what this article did, I could quickly review the abstract. This abstract says, 4 studies examined the consequences of American Indian mascots and other prevalent representations of American Indians on aspects of the self-concept for American Indian students. When exposed to Chief Wahoo, Chief Illiniwek, Pocahontas, or other common American Indian images, American Indian students generated positive associations, Study 1, in a high school, but reported depressed state self-esteem, Study 2, high school, and community worth, in Study 3, in a high school, and fewer achievement-related possible selves, Study 4, in college setting. We suggest that American Indian mascots are harmful because they remind American Indians of the limited ways others see them and, in this way, constrain how they can see themselves. This article looks really interesting, and as a result, I might go on and read the full thing. The wonderful thing about PsycINFO is that I could repeat this process with really any subject that I'm interested in. What if I'm interested in interpersonal attraction, for example? I could simply type in attraction. Now, because this is a much broader area of research, instead of the 10 results, I have closer to 11,000 results for looking for attraction. I definitely want to make sure that I just look at peer-reviewed sources, and given that I have so many sources in this case, maybe I'm going to restrict my research just to things that have linked full text. That means I have access to the full text of the article. This reduces the possible results down to about 7,500, something a little bit more manageable. But right now I'm just interested in sort of basic perusing of research on attraction. And so I might scan over these and see something that catches my eye. So for example, you've been on my mind ever since, a content analysis of expressions of interpersonal attraction in Craigslist misconnections posts. That sounds pretty interesting, so I might click on this article linker here and see if I can access the full text of the article. The UMaine library asks me which university I'm at. We're at the University of Maine. And then loads us through to the full version of the article. I can get rid of this Fogler library page and look directly at it, including downloading a PDF. This abstract says, this study examined how interpersonal attraction was described in Craigslist misconnections posting via quantitative content analysis of randomly selected posts in the United States. Results indicated that, as predicted, misconnections postings contained a combination of multiple verbal, like spoken interactions that are not greetings or praise compliments, and nonverbal, like physical attractiveness, eye contact, nonverbal body movements, attraction expressions. These posts included an average of just over 2 attraction expressions. Physical attractiveness was the most frequently expressed form of interpersonal attraction. There were no biological sex or sexual orientation differences in relation to which and how many attraction expressions were included in misconnections posts. Implications for attraction and online personal advertisement research are described. This abstract sounds really interesting, and as a result, I might be motivated to read the full article. What I want you to be able to understand how to do at the end of this skill development is to be able to search for really any subject in PsycINFO and find a relevant article on that subject, and be able to describe what the title, author, journal article, and year is for that article. In the next skill development lesson, we're going to talk about the ways to read these kinds of journal articles and get some practice reading and summarizing those articles. So I encourage you, with whatever article you choose here today, take a moment to read and review at the very least the abstract in detail.